What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today with a little bit of Overwatch commentary. And today we're actually going to be talking about the upcoming patch 1.7. There are some nerfs and some changes coming to some heroes in Overwatch. Blizzard is attempting to rein in the current tank meta that's going on in competitive. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I'm going to go over the buffs and nerfs really quickly, and then we're going to just get into some commentary. I'll try not to ramble on too much, but I want to talk about if this is actually going to change anything with the way competitive meta is working right now. So first off, there is a nerf to Ana. Her biotic grenade is being toned down a little bit. The healing boost on allies is going to be decreased by 50%. The duration of that effect is going to also be decreased from 5 seconds to 4 seconds. Not a massive change to her. It's going to limit the effectiveness of the healing of the biotic grenade, but one thing I noticed that was interesting they didn't address with this is its ability to cancel out healing for the other team. It does not appear that that has been affected by this nerf at all, and that's still one of the strongest points of her biotic grenade, especially since it can pretty much cancel out ultimates like Zenyatta's Transcendence healing. It's still a very powerful ability, even being decreased by 50%. So I don't think this is really going to make a massive effect on Ana in general. You're still going to see her a lot in some of the better team comps, especially with if there's a lot of tanks. And her overall kit is still very good with the grenade and her ability to sleep dart, cancel ultimates with that, and her healing through her sniper rifle. So I don't think Ana's going to really be affected much by this. So far in the PTR, it doesn't seem like it's a huge change at all. But we'll move on to the next character. Now, D.Va is getting a nerf, and this is probably the most drastic nerf of the nerfs that are occurring with this patch. D.Va has been buffed a couple of times already because when she came out, she really wasn't that great. They finally got her to a point where she was a fairly strong character, and now everybody and their brother is just crying and complaining about her. And so Blizzard does what most developers do. They're catering to the large crowd of casual players, and they're going to knock D.Va back quite a bit. Now, her biggest change is her health is going from 200 to 400. Before, she was 200 health, 400 armor. Now it's going to be 200 armor, 400 health, which makes her melt very quickly. And I'll get into some D.Va comments here in a second, but I'm going to go through these first before I start off my little ramble here. Now, her fusion cannons, the bullet damage is going to be dropped from down to 2 from 3 damage per bullet. They are supposedly increasing the number of bullets per shots from 8 to 11, and they're trying to flatten out her damage curve so it gets a little bit better range. I don't really think this is necessary. I think her damage is fine as it is. She really can't do any damage at long range. You have to really play up close and personal with her to do effective damage, which is another reason the nerf to her health and armor doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. But we'll get to that in a second. The next nerf is Roadhog. They have supposedly fixed his broken hook. We'll see. A lot of you guys know right now Roadhog's hook is very frustrating. It can hook you through walls, through the payload, through Reinhardt's shield, and it can really be aggravating when you think you've run behind cover and all of a sudden you're nabbed by the hook. Now, supposedly the way the hook worked per Blizzard is it was thrown out and supposedly decided in an area of effect around it who it was going to grab. So it kind of creates a random thing. I've seen this happen a lot of times. I'll be behind another character. The hook should grab them. Instead, it goes through them and gets me for some reason. It's just not very consistent. It's made Roadhog a pain in the butt to deal with a lot of times. There's a lot of weaker players using Roadhog that are doing very well with him that I think are going to have a rude wake-up call when this change goes through. But now the hook will pull targets directly in front of Roadhog so he can shoot them with his scrap gun rather than straight to him, which sometimes was causing him to miss. It's going to be a lot easier for him to one-shot people that way. If targets leave his line of sight before they're pulled towards him, they actually will break the hook, which is an interesting change. A lot of people don't like that. Line of sight checks are now done on his position rather than from the hook's position, which is another change. Before it was whatever the hook decided to grab, and now it's from whatever Roadhog's position is. And hook targets will now be slowed very heavily when they are grabbed by the hook, so even if they're in the air or trying to run around a corner, they'll be a little bit slower, so you might be able to grab them with the hook instead of them breaking line of sight before they can get out of there. And then there apparently was a bug where if you hook somebody, it would pull them behind you instead of directly in front of you, so it'd be too hard to get a kill from that. I don't think this is going to really negatively affect Roadhog that much. Roadhog is still a very, very, very strong character. He's got a massive health pool. He's got a self-heal that's really good. He can pretty much one-shot almost every 200 hit point hero in the game. His damage is ridiculous at close range. and he's just a monster. So I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of drop-off with Roadhog's use, especially in competitive. He's just really, really good right now, as are all the tanks, and that's something I'll get to here later in the commentary. Now, Sombra is getting a little bit of a buff. Her hack, the time is being reduced from 1 second to 0.8 seconds, which will make it work a little bit faster, and the cooldown is being decreased from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. I don't think that's the only change Sombra needs. I think she needs a lot more look and love with her kit. But that'll probably help her viability just a little bit. You don't see Sombra hardly at all in the game right now, and it's really because overall, in certain team comps, she's just not really that good. But they need to look at her a little bit more than they have in the month that she's been out. So those are the nerfs and buffs that are coming with patch 1.7, which will probably go live sometime towards the end of January. Unfortunately, right in the middle of a competitive season, which I don't know why Blizzard does that, but kind of throws things off for a week or two in the competitive season as people try to readjust. Now, my thoughts on the overall nerfs and will they affect the tank meta that we have in the game right now? I don't think that they're going to. I want to talk about D.Va real quick. I think the nerfs on her are a little strong. She definitely needed an adjustment because she was getting to the point where you had to have her in your comp almost. She's very strong right now. She's a very strong character. However, a lot of the people I see complaining about her are lower skill players that are down in bronze, down in silver, who are having trouble killing her. And the argument I keep seeing for it is, I can't 1v1 D.Va. Well, yeah, she's a tank with 600 health and a shield that blocks incoming damage. Yeah, you're not going to be able to 1v1 her as a 200 hit point damage character up close. Reaper, if you're a good Reaper, you should be able to. But that's the mentality I see a lot of the nerfs coming through with Blizzard for, is that people just complain that they can't 1v1 someone. Overwatch is a team game. You're not supposed to be able to 1v1 a lot of heroes. Now, some people are going to disagree with that mentality, and that's fine. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. That's my opinion on the matter. And as someone who has main D.Va in Season 3 of comp so far, let me tell you, D.Va is not invulnerable like everybody makes her out to be. There's a lot of people that are calling for the nerf, saying her defense matrix is too good, it's unlimited, it's never down, which is nonsense. There is a cooldown. It's not up all the time. And that she can't be killed very quickly, which is also nonsense. She can be melted very, very fast. She's got a massive crit box on the front of her mech, and believe me, if you get into a rough situation with D.Va, or if you're playing against a smart team, you've got to be careful with her, because you can die very, very quickly. Especially if they've got a Zenyatta and he puts a Discord on you, you melt so fast it's not even funny. Soldier can take D.Va down really, really quick if her defense matrix is not up. And you can't have the matrix up all the time. So I don't get the people saying, oh, her matrix is up indefinitely, she blocks all this stuff. I do think it's a little powerful that she can block so many ults in the game. I know it frustrates a lot of people because you finally get an ult built up and you fire it off and she just completely negates it. Like with Reaper, she completely negates his ult. Soldier's ult she can completely take in. She can eat Zarya's ult. I mean, it's very strong, and I think defense matrix as it is now is okay with a duration and blocking normal damage. I think they ought to maybe take a look at it for the way it blocks ultimate damage, because I don't think it's a little too powerful in that aspect. So D.Va definitely needs a tone down, but I think what they hit her with, they just smashed her with the Nerf bat. I don't think she's going to be viable that much in competitive anymore. I don't think she's going to be viable that much in the game. And she's really bad on PTR right now from my experience so far. And what I'll say is that Blizzard is seemingly following a Bungie line here with their approach to multiplayer. Instead of just adjusting characters and trying to achieve balance, they would rather just take the popular character everyone's crying about and just nerf them into the ground so it makes them unviable completely. It kind of sucks in Overwatch because you've got so many really well-developed and interesting characters, and only a few of them are playable in competitive. And even in quick play, you still get a lot of toxic people who get mad if you pick certain characters now. But that's all I'm going to say on D.Va for now. I want to get into the tank meta, talk about that a little bit. And do I think it's going to change? I really don't think it's going to change. I know Anna got a little bit of a nerf to her biotic grenade, but I don't think that's going to make a huge impact. She's still one of the best support characters. Until they give Mercy some love, Mercy right now is kind of in a tough spot. Lucio's still really solid. Zenyatta's pretty good because he can, act as a DPS if you need him to. Symmetra is really, really good right now, and Anna is great if you have several tanks on the team. She's still going to be very strong, and I don't think you're going to change much. If anything, you're going to see D.Va drop out of the tank rotation, and Zarya will come up. Zarya is a very good tank, but she's an off tank, so you don't see her a whole lot right now, unless you have a really good Reinhardt on your team or a good D.Va. It's kind of hard to play Zarya as a lone tank. to keep your team safe. Her shields are really good, but they burn out really quick, and just overall, she's not a super strong main tank. But she's a great off tank. She has one of the best ultimates in the game that can completely change the flow of a match, especially if you have good team synergy and other people waiting to use their ults when she uses her Graviton Surge. So if you get basically right now the 3 tank meta that's going on, it's like Roadhog, Reinhardt, D.Va. Roadhog's not going to change much. The really good skilled players are still going to do well with him and his hook. And his damage is incredible. His self-heal is really good. The main problem with tanks right now is I think they just do way too much damage. A tank is supposed to protect the team. They're supposed to be good. Their damage should be kind of in the medium range, but you've got Reinhardt who can basically 3-hit kill any of the DPS characters or 200 health characters with his hammer. His fire strike's very good. You've got Roadhog who does insane damage, can one-shot kill half the roster. D.Va's doing okay damage right now, but Zarya again, if you can get her charged up with her shields and everything, she can do insane damage. So the tanks just put out a lot of damage and are just really good choices overall to learn how to play. So you're not going to see the tank meta change much, I don't think. That's my prediction. I think Zarya will move up and take D.Va's place. It's going to lead to a lot more frustration in competitive, because now you're going to see a lot of more synergized ults with Graviton Surge and ults like Pharah's Rocket Barrage and Reaper's Death Blossom. I think you'll see Reaper maybe creep up a little bit more. I think he could use a little bit of a buff maybe. But he may creep up a little bit more, especially with D.Va being out of the picture now to negate his ultimate and everything. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these changes play out when they go live. Like I said, my prediction right now is I don't think you're going to see a huge shift away from the 3-tank or multi-tank selections, especially in competitive. I think people are, like I said, I think Zarya is just going to kind of move up and take D.Va's position right now. But it's also kind of a shame that D.Va's been nerfed into the ground again, and she's going to be kind of useless like she was prior to her buffs and whatnot. So those are my thoughts on the recent patch updates on PTR and what's coming to Overwatch very soon. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm sure a lot of you might disagree with me, some might agree. Either way, let's have some discussion about it. I'd love to have educated discussion about things and see what you guys think about it. So we've got some really interesting changes coming to the game, and we'll see if it's going to be fun or not. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thanks, as always, for watching, and I will see you again next time.